What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, we are going to be doing a squad builder if I had 1 million MT. So let's pretend this is my nobody's member. Let's pretend it had 1 million MT. What is the squad that I would build for you guys to go out there and have success with? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. Now, before we dive any further into that, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. Now, 1 million, guys, I'm always going to recommend that you guys just run a 10-man. It's just what I always will recommend for you guys. Now, starting point guard position, we're going to plug in Jaylen Rose. Did y'all really think we were going to plug in Derrick Rose? No, we're going to plug in Jaylen Rose. Now, here's the deal, guys. This Jaylen Rose has 30 Hall of Famers, and you can get him probably for pretty cheap. So, one thing I recommend is don't just buy the cheapest Jaylen Rose. I kind of have a little bit of MT slated for you guys to get pretty juiced cards. So, at least get a Jaylen Rose that is completely badged out, right? This one has 24 Hall of Famers. Whatever you guys got to do, just get a fully badged out Jaylen Rose. Like, for example, this Jaylen, you probably could get for at least 200K, which you're getting at least a top 3 point guard in the game at that point. I mean, souped up cards aren't really that expensive anymore, and that's just something that I would kind of recommend is not just buying the base version. Because, for example, if you get this one with 30 Hall of Famers, again, for less than 200K, you're getting basically a steal. And I'm going to talk about exactly what this Jaylen Rose is working with. Last refresh here, yeah, you're looking at a pretty cheap, 150, less than 150K with all these Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame rim, Hall of Fame quick first step. I mean, basically just an all-around point guard in 2K. Good 3-ball, quick dribble style, decent enough defensive player. Just all the way around, Jaylen Rose is very solid. And if you can get a really souped one for like 150K like I just saw, you're doing pretty good. Now, the shooting guard position is a position that I'm really going to ball on a budget with. And we're going to start off with RJ Barrett. When I say ball on a budget, I mean, I really do mean that. So with RJ and a soup Jaylen Rose, you're looking at still under 200K. You're probably looking at like 160, 170K. RJ Barrett, 14, 13,000 for an RJ Barrett card, which is honestly a pretty good deal. What do you get if you get RJ Barrett? Well, you get a 6'6 guard, 94 3-ball, good driving dunk, ball handle is really solid. Defensively, he's okay. The one thing I don't like about his defense is the fact that he's 6'6. Everything else with RJ Barrett is really solid. Really good movement in the half court, right? Has the Scotty behind the back. Really good release. I mean, there's really no flaws with RJ Barrett. I mean, there's just not. Obviously, he's not going to be as good as, the Chris Mullins of the world. Isn't going to be as good as, the Cedric Maxwell's of the world. But if you're talking about a guy for 14,000 MT that I think can 100% hold it down at that shooting guard position, you gotta mention RJ Barrett somewhere in there. Now, at this small forward position, another guy that you guys are at least going to want to get fully badged is Rudy. And when I say fully badged, I'm not even saying with extra Hall of Famers. Extra Hall of Famers is great. When I say fully badged Rudy, I'm talking a Rudy that is fully badged gold-wise. That's all I'm saying. When I say fully badged, I just want a Rudy with, 44, 45 gold. So, for example, this Rudy is a little bit better than some of the other ones because when you look at the gold badges, might have those badges with Limitless and Chef that you do need. This one obviously is a little bit better. I mean, 43 gold, 20 on Hall of Fame. You might be able to get a Rudy even if you have to pay 100K that is, really souped up. And so that's something that I definitely would recommend you guys do. Try to get the right Rudy for you, not just any Rudy, a good Rudy. But what does Rudy give you? Well, I mean, guys, he's going to play in 250K for me, so I think he's the second best small forward in the game, 6'8", good 3-ball, really good defensively, offensively, incredible release, really good player. Bottle can compete on the interior, just gets really good animations. It's not just like, okay, he's a one-trick pony. It's not like he can just shoot. It's not like he can just attack. He can shoot, he can attack, he can play defense, he can dribble. He can really do it all, and that's why I think you gotta play him on the court. So, 200 to 250,000, you will be able to get the guys that I previously mentioned. Next up, you're gonna have to spend some MT, but I'm okay with doing that with Big Patrick Ewing. 200 to 300K, you're probably gonna have to spend on this card, but honestly, I don't really care. I really don't. I mean, you're gonna have to spend some MT. But here's what you get if you do get a badged up Patrick Ewing. Let's say you can get this card for 300k. Okay, cool. I have MT to give. You get an 88 3-ball with the shoe. 83 ball. Now look at the defense. 95 block, 88 steal, 84 perimeter, 97 interior, good rebounding stats, 93 speed, 92 lateral quickness. Check out the badges. This one's just fully badged with golds, but that's all he really needs. I mean, you give him limitless. That's really all he needs. Maybe some other badges in here. He's got a base 57 badges. What else could you possibly need? I mean, maybe Deadeye if you really wanted to give him Deadeye. But outside of that, Patrick Ewing is one of the most complete center power forwards of the game. With this squad, I do have him slated at power forward, but if you wanted to run him at center, you can do that too. I'm in love with Patrick Ewing because I feel like on both ends of the court, the card gives you about as much, if not more, than any other power forward can in the game. If I could run this card in 250k, I probably would. I'm just that high on Patrick Ewing. I think you gotta find a way to get him in your squad, and if I have to pay 300k, then I have to pay 300k. I'm okay with doing that for Patrick Ewing. A card I do not want to pay 300k for, but must be included in your squad, is Galaxy Opal David Robinson. Now, all I'm telling you guys to do is search for a buy and find one that is badged up. I'm not even saying Hall of Fame badge. I'm just saying fully badged up. That's the D-Rob that you guys should be looking at. The D-Rob that is indeed fully badged up. You can get him for a decent price, right? He's not super expensive. If you have to, I guess you can maybe find one that's a bid for that is fully badged. Maybe that's just a little bit better, but should for 100k be able to find one. And for my starters, 600, 700k, you should be able to complete the starting unit. Here's the deal, guys. Whether you want to run David Robinson at power forward or Patrick Ewing at power forward, that's your personal preference. What I would say is they are 2 out of the top 3 or 4 power forward centers in the game. If you want to argue against that, I would love to hear some of your guys' other options. I have both of them starting in my 1 mil MT squad builder because I am super, super high on both of them. Now, I thought D-Rob, I still think he's the best center in the game. And so the fact that he is a buyout to me is just absolutely ridiculous. Heading into the bench unit, we have a little bit more MT to spend, and I'm going to spend a lot of it on Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade's the type of guy that, again, I'm surprised that he's a buyout, but am I all that surprised? I guess not really. I mean, just the way 2K has been this year, it's how cards are, man. I mean, you can probably find a pretty souped Cade Cunningham for a buyout if you do search at the right time. This one's fully badged with the diamond shoe. This one has 20 Hall of Famers, fully badged, though it has those extra Hall of Famers, again, for a really solid price. It's just one of those things that when you get a Cade Cunningham that can shoot, can dribble, can defend a little bit, he's absolutely elite. One thing I would try to do is find a Cade that is just a little bit better on the defensive end of the court. So even if you do have to bid on him, spend a little bit more MT. Try to find one that does get those defensive badges. Whether it's clips, whether it's interceptor. Try to get some of those defensive badges if you can. But Cade, just going to be a great point guard. Again, good dribble style, good movement, great release. A guy that I absolutely love. Shooting guard position, guys, I told you I was going to ball on a budget, and I am not joking around when I say that. Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett are going to run this show at my shooting guard positions. Cam Reddish, basically 10,000 MT, who is 6'8". One thing Cam Reddish cannot do is get you paint stops, but he's 6'8", and nobody really looks at Cam as like, dang, I'm just going to mash him because of his size. I mean, he does have pretty good size, pretty good versatility on the interior. So, I mean, that's something I love Cam Reddish. I know my Cam Reddish is going to go out there and compete. 6'8", gets really good steals with the Hall of Fame interceptor, can move and groove in the half court, does have that Kobe size up. And just think all the way around, whether it's Cam Reddish, whether it's RJ Barrett, heck, whether it's even Jerry Stackhouse, there is no reason at all to spend up at that shooting guard position. There's just really no reason at all. The small forward position, guys, I gotta plug this guy in somewhere. I wish I could plug him in at the shooting guard position, but I just can't. You got Scotty Pippen. And if you want to run Cam Reddish at the 3, Scotty at the 2, you can definitely do that. But one thing I will say is Scotty Pippen is another guy you can try to find fully badged. A lot of these cards are just cheaper cards outside of, Patrick Ewing, D-Rob, and who you're going to see at my center. A lot of these cards are cheaper, but if you can find one fully badged, you can find one with some extra Hall of Famers, something I definitely would encourage you guys to do. But what does Scotty Pippen do? Well, here's what I'll say. Scotty Pippen plays on my road to 250k team. He plays on my no money spent team, and I just got the base Scotty. I don't even need him to do anything too special, but great defender. Great player model. Offensively, incredible dribble sigs, good release, just think he's underrated. So underrated, so underappreciated, and a lot of people are just sleeping on Scotty Pippen overall. Hopefully you guys aren't one of those people that are sleeping on this card, because he's one of the best small forward shooting guards in all of 2K. Here's what we got to talk about. Now, I don't know how much MT you're going to have left over, but this is the card that you're going to want a good version of, and that's Bobo. Whether you give him Interceptor, whether you give him Rebound Chaser, whether you give him, Intimidator, you're going to want one with a few extra Hall of Famers. So, for example, this one might be one you're looking at. No, it's not. Who cares how many Hall of Famers? You just want defensive Hall of Fame badges. It's that simple for Bobo. Here's the deal, though, guys. If you do get a Bobo that is souped up on the defensive end of the court, he then becomes one of the top power forwards in the game. You're going to see Bobo play for me in the 250K tournament, so you guys know I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm serious when I say, if you get a Bobo that has Rebound, Intimidator, Interceptor, some of those badges, I'd spend 200K on him and not have a problem with it. I mean, you give him those badges, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on who's a better power forward in the game. Because I don't think there's too many of them. Heck, this one's got 17 Hall of Famers. Brick wall, you give him rim, you give him rebound, you give him interceptor. He's one of the best power forwards in the game, and I'll stand on that because I love Bobo. So you find the right Bobo, which is hard to do. You find a decent Bobo, doesn't even have to be perfect. Just 2 of those badges, he then becomes one of the best power forwards in the game. If you can get him for 100 to 200K with some extra soup badges, you're looking at a card that is going to compete with the best of them. Heck, even if you give him just a base Bobo that is fully badged out, I still love the card. I mean, even if you do have to spend 100K, getting those extra Hall of Famers on him, I don't really care. I love Bobo so much, and I think he is definitely worth the price. And I mean, a lot of people still to this day sleep on that Bobo card. Last but certainly not least, we've got to talk about Hakeem Olajuwon. A card who, guys, I'd be lying to say I love. I will be lying to say I love. But he deserves a spot on this squad. Hakeem, you're probably looking at 150,000 MT to get. So, I mean, again, we got enough MT. It's just a matter of how souped you want these cards. Hakeem, going to be able to shoot, play great defense, handle the ball a little bit. The one thing I like about Hakeem, compared to the majority of other players, is his player model. I feel like Hakeem's player model is the reason people like him so much. His release is on quick, which does help as well, but you do got to give him some badges, something to kind of take into consideration. So a lot of these, you guys might be like, Ty, you can easily get this team for 1 mil MT, which you're right, but the badges, that's really where you're going to make and break cards in the MT that they go for. But I feel like Hakeem's one of those guys. He's not going to play in 250 for me. But if I was to do it all over again, and I didn't have a Kristaps with 20 million Hall of Famers, Hakeem would just simply have to play. If you were to give me 1 million MT, I think this is the squad I would assemble. Again, got to spend up in some areas. Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Hakeem, probably some of the most expensive players, as well as point guard position. Again, I would take some MT out of that 1 mil, get a pretty good Bobo, but I feel like this is the type of squad that can compete with any other squad in the game. Got a mix of offense with some really solid defensive players as well. I feel like this squad can definitely compete at the highest level. I wanted to try to get Luke on this squad, but he just is so ridiculously expensive that I just simply can't do it. I want to know your guys' thoughts on each and every one of these cards down below in the comments. Do you guys think I built a good squad, or how would you guys adjust it? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.